right, happy Friday, everyone. And we're going to talk in this video about the solution to yo-yo dieting or plateaus. Like if you've ever tried to take control of your health and you find that you just go up and down in weight, you might lose 20 pounds and a year later it's back on, or you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to get more energy and you're trying to improve these things, but it's not really working. You're not really going anywhere. And so we're going to talk about the solution to that in this video. So if you've ever had where you've lost weight and gained it back, or you've tried to lose weight and you've kind of plateaued, then this is going to provide the solution for you in this video. So we're going to talk about what this is and how to solve it again. And I want to share a story with you of a woman, we'll call her Dee Dee. And she, in one of the conversations I had talked with her, she told me she had literally spent, over the course of probably 15 years, she had spent probably, she didn't know how much, but tens of thousands of dollars, maybe $15,000, $20,000 or more on trying to lose weight, like trainers, therapists, nutritionists, programs, shakes, whatever it was, just hours. I mean, just countless hours trying to reach her goals. And what ended up happening for her was she felt exhausted. Number one, she'd been told by trainers that like she's just wired to store fat. She's never gonna reach her goals. And she's super driven, like super high energy, works at kind of a corporate office. She's a director of one of their departments and has to perform at a high level. And she was super frustrated because her energy's dropping now. She can't think, like her thinking is off a little bit as far as like she's brain fog. She's doesn't have as much mental clarity as she wanted. And she's super frustrated because it was really subtle for her where she like didn't realize, because every time she did like a new program or joined in with a new trainer, she was like excited and she would see some progress. She dropped like 15 pounds, maybe 20 pounds, but then it would end up coming back on. So she's like, okay, let's do it again. And it was like, it just kind of crept up on her. She didn't realize almost at first that this was happening. And then she started realizing, it's like, well, I got to just keep at it and keep at it. And she looked back over like a 15-year period and she's at a net outcome of being at the highest weight she'd ever been. And it wasn't that, and the reason why is every time she went on a diet or every time she tried to restrict calories or tried to work with a trainer or something like that, it ended up damaging her metabolism. So she'd gain more weight back than she lost in the first place. And so it was super frustrating. It was like subtle. She didn't like quite catch that it was happening so much that it had been just this like ongoing, like really annoying, frustrating process for her. And so, anyway, she ended up being over like 70 pounds overweight or something, like 60 pounds overweight, just like not feeling good, right? Clothes are tight, super annoyed, like energy's low, just frustrated, just exhausted from the whole process. And when I explained to her what I'm about to explain to you, it like light bulb went off and she goes, oh my gosh, that's what's been happening. And we're gonna talk about how to fix that. And that's the process where she'd just lose, gain, or she'd lose and plateau, or she got to the point then, because of so many times doing this, that her body couldn't lose weight at all. She just stopped losing weight whatsoever. And this is all wrapped up into the same reason that I'm going to share with you in this video. So if you stick with me for the next like 5-6 minutes, I'll kind of try to keep it short on what this is and the solution for it, how to actually resolve this. So the reason why this happens, where you have these like ups and downs and your body gains weight back, a lot of people will say, well, it's because, consistency. You're just not sticking with it. And sure, there's some truth to that. Like, don't get me wrong, if you go on a diet and then get off of it and just go eat Twinkies and Ding Dongs all day long, you're going to gain weight. But that's actually not the most important thing or the most number one reason that you gain weight back. The number one reason that you gain weight back or you end up plateauing is what's called a metabolic set point. So a metabolic set point is basically where your body feels comfortable maintaining fat stores. Like, so it basically says, how much fat do I need on it to feel good? And the reason why it's calculating this and figuring all this out and storing fat in the first place is because of the stressors in your environment. So for Dee Dee, who I told you about, high stress job, She'd gone through divorce. She, lived in America, which creates a lot of stress in general. Drives down the freeway, has a cell phone, eats food. Like all of these things cause stress. And when your brain feels like it's stressed and there's basically a tiger chasing it, it's going to want to store fat. Well, and there's a couple of other factors. We won't go into all the details, but like toxins come into play and hormones and all these things that, especially for women, really start to get out of balance after like kids, after stress, after aging. And all these things start to get out of balance. And basically your body starts to say, okay, I don't feel comfortable with where I'm at. I feel like I'm stressed. I feel like, and if you're dieting a lot, it's going to feel like it's starving. And so if you think back like 500 years ago or 1,000 or 5,000 years ago, or however long you want to think back, if you were in that kind of scenario, if you were stressed and you were starving, your body's going to want to retain fat stores to try to keep you alive. And so that's why we store fat, is from that response. It's your stress response. It has to do with your metabolism. When your brain is feeling like it's running from a tiger, it just stores fat. And so what happens in our day and age is we're constantly stressed. Like Dee Dee was stressed. She, high stress job again. She had to divorce. She had all these things going on in her life. And just like normal everyday Americans do. And her brain didn't realize, or our brains don't really quite understand, that we don't live in the same type of environment we used to. And it just is kind of hardwired to want to store fat because of all this stress. So that's why. And so basically your set point is why it's where you feel good. It's where your body says, all right, this is how much fat I'm going to store. And that's why it's so hard to either get rid of it. And that's why you plateau, because your body, like, let's say you're a woman and you'd like to get to 130. That's like your ideal weight. Or you're a male and you want to get to like 175 or 180, but you're stuck. If you're a woman, say you want to get to 130, you're stuck at like 170. And no matter what you do, you just can't seem to break that point. And you'll lose weight and you always come back to like 170, right around there, 150 or whatever that is for you. Now men too, you might weigh a little more, right? So you always kind of fluctuate. Well, that's where your set point is. And if you try to lose weight and say you lose 15 or 20 pounds and your body plateaus, there's multiple reasons why that happens, but it's basically your body saying, I don't feel good about this. I don't want to lose this weight anymore. And so then it plateaus and you get frustrated and then you give up or whatever. And then you find your weight's coming back on. Now, because you usually damage the metabolism every time you go on a diet or try to restrict calories or go to the gym, literally exercise and dieting is going to slow your metabolism down almost every single time that people do it, because they don't really know how to do it. And they're hopeful, right? It's like this, like subtle thing, like I'm just going to do it. All right, here's another option. Let's go for it. My friend's doing this boot camp, or my friend's on keto or whatever. Let's try it. But every time you damage your metabolism, so you gain the weight back, and oftentimes you gain a bit more. And each time you damage your metabolism, it gets harder to lose the weight again. So that's why, especially for like high performing driven women who are now in their 40s or 50s, and they've been doing this for 5, 10, 20 years, it's really, really hard to ever lose the weight, and it's even harder to keep it off. So hopefully that makes sense. So now let me share with you kind of the solution to this. I'm going to give you the basics of it so you can kind of start implementing these types of things. Is you have to help your body create a new set point. You have to help your body be able to make sure that it's okay, feels comfortable with releasing the fat. That's the first thing. And then once you have released the fat, you have to help your body feel comfortable maintaining that and feeling comfortable staying there. Okay, so you have to lose weight the right way when you do this. So exercise is not the right way. Just sheer calorie restriction is not the right way. So you have to be able to nourish your body with the right foods. You have to be, that sun is like glaring this. You have to be able to nourish your body with the right foods, number one. So you got to learn the right nutrition to fuel your body. You got to learn the right nutrition to make you have energy, to feel good, to preserve your muscles and all that stuff. You have to know what to eat, how much of it to eat, and when to eat. You don't necessarily need to count calories. I think that's kind of stupid, because you could be counting the calories and have terrible nutrition, and it's not going to really work out for you long term. You got to have the right nutrition. So you got to lose weight with the right nutrition. Now, exercise is not the solution. None of my clients exercise. Like Dee Dee, when we worked together, she lost 60 pounds or 65 pounds, whatever it ended up being, somewhere right around there, in like 4.5 months, and she didn't exercise one time. And so it's not needed. It actually causes more stress on the body, which causes more fat storage. So I always tell people, just take it easy, focus on the right nutrition, and lose the weight that way. But you can't focus on losing weight forever. If you go into a calorie deficit, which you have to lose some weight, generally speaking, you really only want to do that for maybe like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is. And then you have to stop going into a calorie deficit to help your body stabilize what's just happened, to help it feel comfortable where you're at with what. So let's say you lose, like my clients will lose like 20 or 30 or 40 pounds in like a 6-week period. And then we go on to basically a locking phase where we just lock it in. We help them just stabilize and create a new set point for their body by giving them the right amounts of food and the right kinds of food. So that's the key. Whoa, just got some things going on here with my phone. So anyway, so yeah, you got to get the right kinds of food and the right amounts of food to help your body stabilize the weight. And then you do that for a period of time. And then you can focus on whatever your next goal is, whether it's just maintaining a lifestyle or keep losing or building muscle, whatever that goal is for you, that's where we go next. So it's about losing weight, getting to that calorie deficit in the right way. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. If you go into a calorie deficit in the wrong way, it'll just trash your metabolism. But if you go into a calorie deficit the right way, you'll actually preserve your metabolism and you'll be able to burn fat very quickly. And then as you go into a kind of this locking period where you create a new set point for your body and get it to lock in so it feels comfortable, you do that the right way, all of a sudden you've lost weight, you've maintained muscle, your energy's like rocketed through the roof, you're feeling awesome. You're able to actually, by doing this, you're able to actually lose belly fat, like really target belly fat and not anything else, which is really fascinating. Which I know is like a total weight loss cliche, but it's the truth. When you get your body feeling comfortable releasing fat, meaning it's not running from the tiger anymore, it can do that. It doesn't have to feel like it's, burning muscle or good fats or anything like that. It's all just the bad fat. So anyway, that's the process that needs to be followed. That's basically what I do for my clients. We give them the right nutrition, recipes, all that fun stuff. But we have a whole robust system on where we detail it specifically for you. And we make it really, really effective for people and support them along that process. And everybody's a little bit different with it though. So it does need to be individualized slightly for each person, because otherwise, like, you're different than your neighbor or you're different than me, right? And so we have to tailor it slightly for you and what you need, and your likes, your family, all that stuff. And once you do it the right way though, weight will come off. And the cool thing is it won't want to come back on. It'll want to stay wherever it is that you created that new set point. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps you guys create some strategy as you're going through your process. I know it's like middle to end of summer. People are kind of forgot their summer bodies by now, but it's not too late. Like, honestly, I've got people who, started the program 2 weeks ago and they're like down 15 pounds already, right? And they're feeling awesome. So anyway, if you guys have questions, feel free to comment below. But if you are looking for some help and you want to drop 20 or 30 or 40 pounds in the next 6 weeks, it's possible, it's doable. I know it sounds crazy, but I just described and explained to you why and how we do that and why we're able to actually do that in a very effective and permanent and healthy manner. So let me know, comment below, and I will send you some details on it. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment as well. And see you guys later. Have a good weekend.